And hey again team, so this is a 3v5 siege that I did about a week ago. I'm playing on the attack this time, which is where I feel a little more comfortable. A large part of this whole series is trying to get me out of my comfort zone, but so I will try to play on the defense a bit more, but at least I'm playing as Rhun, which is a faction I'm not too used to. I'll rattle through the compositions of my allies first and then get back to me and take a little bit more time with that. So I've got Blue Ranger, which is Harad. He's got some mid-hood berserkers there, and two of them. South Rhun archers, two of them. Demons of the Desert, of course. Another berserkers there. He's forming himself up on this side here. Some Serpent Guard, pikemen, spearmen for just fodder, Beastmasters, and then a ballista up front. We were allowed to take 2 siege weapons as the attackers, so he's got one of them. I do not have a siege weapon. Over here, it's a bit tricky to see. We've got Sea of Madness as Umbar. It's got some Belgier halberds, a big unit, 2 units of Corsair pikemen, Belgier halberds. A lot of his stuff's hidden in that forest, so I can't quite remember what he had, but we'll see them as they appear. Just about everything is hidden here from Isengard. Lord Whalecome, and yes, he's jumping all around. It's hard to see really in through these forests, but he did not bring an Isengard ballista. And then lastly, a very interesting choice. We've got another Harad from Explain. He's got some hood berserkers here. 1, 2. Oh no, there's beast tamers. 2 beast tamers, 3 beast tamers, and then Serpent Guard and berserkers on that side. Some Haradman archers and South Rhun archers. Yes, so here's the other catapult for us. Mid warriors, other warriors, Serpent Guard, and then he's also got some Muakil, which I really do love seeing them brought to sieges. So no, I was really excited when he said he was going to bring some of those. On the opposing side, they're still setting up right now, but I believe it's Arthedain and no, I'm not so sure. So we'll go back to normal speed and or speed up to actually get. Oh no, I should do myself. So I'm of course playing as Rhun. I've got up front my look flag Rhun, just some AP men at arms, some pikemen there. Eastron clansmen, giving them the armor upgrade because I just think they're pretty worth it like that. And my general ideas when it comes to siege attacks is to just try to really wear the enemy down with a lot of fodder, a lot of archer fire before I move any of my units in there. And I think the Eastron clansmen are great for that, especially with the armor upgrade. Some Scion Rim for the inspirational bonus mainly, but they're good fighters too. Kamos shadow bows. Rangers are something I can never really use to their full benefit, and I'm trying to bring Rangers a lot more just to get used to them and use them a bit more effectively. Then Eastron crossbows, love crossbows in a siege, and then Eastron hunters behind them to just soak up enemy fire and also dish out a little bit of hurt too. And then I've got my knights. So as you see, why I've arranged myself like this here is just for movement. I was on a defensive on this map earlier, and it took so long for the enemy to come through here, and I just didn't want to waste any time. I just formed myself up with the intention of marching right on down and getting and initiating the attack as quickly as I could. And I completely forgot that one of our enemies is Arthedain, who of course can bring the Grey Company. So you'll see that come into effect almost immediately. What you can do on this map is come all the way around here. There's a little mountain pass that you can take, which can lead you to get a good shot on this side. We've actually started the battle. We'll move over in a moment and fire down on here, but I didn't want to do that mainly because it takes a long time, and I just didn't think it would be too fun to do. So I stuck everything together. I needed my Eastron hunters, but I pointed that out to my allies anyway. So I'm looking at the enemy forces right now. I'm trying to look out for any major enemies at their actual encampment or city over there, and I'm just marching everything forward, not really paying any attention to it, and I do suffer a lot for that. I just want to see when they popped up, how early it was possible for me to actually see them before they started tearing me apart. So I think they're around about here, but there is a unit of Grey Company. And no, so they really wait for me to get quite close before they open fire. Still not. He's just wanting to wait for everything to line up perfectly, and this is the mob that he wants to fire into. Still nothing. Yeah, so but all of our focus is up here. Collectively, we're looking out for rangers. We're looking out for anything that's going to give us concern as we advance closer. And there he is. So he's appeared just there, and as I say, I've perfectly plopped up for him, so he can just fire right down here, kill a chunk of these guys, kill a chunk of these guys, and these guys too. He's got a great sight for that. So that was unfortunately just totally outplayed there. Just I wasn't worried about that. Wasn't what I was thinking. So as soon as they start firing, I do go into a bit of a run. I start rushing forward my knights soon, but this would have been a great point for me to have my hunters up front, so that I could have just started to lay down fire on them. So I don't know exactly how many people I lose here, but they're all decent quality men, and it's not really people I want to lose before I've even started my attack. Right through the centre of those clansmen there. So my dragon knights start charging away just to chase them away. I know I'm never going to catch them with these knights, but as Blue Ranger did inform me, my knights will just be able to shrug off this fire that comes at them. So I've got no concern with chasing them down. Blue Ranger comes in with some Beastmasters just to try and take them down, but they're going to outpace us. So that was just pretty good. So I'll list off my enemies now. So that's Roger that as Arthedain. We've also got Cardolan, which is commanded by sons of Celebrimbor. I believe he was saying he was going to send this replay to someone, so I'm hoping to see that pop up somewhere soon. And he seems to be guarding this area. I didn't fight him. I came up this side, so I barely had any contact with Cardolan. Dale, there we go. So we know we've got a lot of enemy range fire. They're all human factions, and they have a trebuchet. I believe that is their only siege weapon, though. So they've got another unit of Grey Company there, and they have a lot of rangers, which I do come to know later on in the fight. Some Arthedain marksmen too. Yeah, as I say, very heavy range focus here. Lots of archers and quite a lot of pikes to keep us at bay. But we chase out that unit of Grey Company. I'm not sure where he's gone just yet, and a few Beastmasters killed. Now what I do here is I know that they're a threat. I know the Grey Company have gone hiding somewhere there, so I just start moving my hunters up, because at the end of the day they're made to take losses, and if I can take out a few Grey Company with some return fire, that's all the better. So I'm going to be leading the push with them, and we know they've got nothing in this area, and we know they've got no melee or lancer cav that I'm really worried about getting charged by. So it's a big slow move from this point as we're all moving into position. You see the Mumakil over there. I didn't actually pay much attention to them, but I'll call out some things that I did notice happening to them later. At this point, he sees that I'm no longer a great target, but Isengard have got these nice exposed pikes that he wants to fire upon. So as soon as I see him doing that, I charge my knights down. I want to try and cut them off. I want to try and help my allies. We were communicating. That was something that I was quite impressed by, and but I guess Lord Whalecome was just not really too worried about these guys. He thought that they were going to focus on us, and so he's lost a few good pikes there, and he's straightening himself out, but he still can get hit by that. Harad and Archers moving up can definitely fire some pot shots, but I'm just rushing my knights down here, getting slowed up by my archers, which is annoying, and unfortunately I'm not going to catch him. I think I get one volley off him, but I don't actually think I kill off any cav. So we'll speed it back up as my knights just uselessly sort of chase him around. But I'm at this point, I just want to chase him back into the castle. Just we need this area. We need to set up properly and get him away. He's stubborn. Oh, I did manage to take out a horse. I'm very happy with that with my Eastern Hunters. And now moving through this little valley is, I knew this would be hell, because when I defended this map a few weeks ago, we were able to make this little valley pass quite frustrating for the attackers, because you're just really tight, and we only had a catapult. We had a dwarven catapult when I was defending it, whereas this time they have a trebuchet, which is positioned here. I think later on he moves it here just to get some better shots, but he's just waiting for us to actually start moving our real armies through. I'm just trying to keep my dragon, like my dragon knights, pottering around, just try to protect our boys just in case the Grey Company come back out. But I think they've moved back in at this point. So this is where I feel pretty comfortable again, and I just go back to my maneuvering phase, getting people into the positions that I feel they need to be in. And he's got his Arthedain marksman there, and I'm thinking, I've got my Eastern Hunters. I know that they don't have melee cav, so why don't I just move up? And I do that in a little while. When I do it, I'm not too sure. We'll just have to see. It's quite a long battle, but there are quite a few points where it's just moving around, so I'll jump up to 6 speed. I'm trying not to do too many cuts with this series. I want it to be sort of as natural as possible, to just keep just delve into my mind, as such. I don't want to jump around all that much. So we do move up these Eastern Hunters. So I've got my boys spread out. I'm really not worried about taking casualties here. All I'm wanting to do is use up his archer fire, which he does oblige me with. But still, I expected to take out a small handful of these guys. I've not got a bad firing arc, and so I did hope a few of these marksmen would drop. But no, they've got the armor upgrade, and nothing really happened. So we've got a few of these trebuchets firing, and although I'm being pretty damn careful, Blue Ranger's going for it. So so he loses a lot of decent guys there. Oh, some Serpent Guard, I think. So, but he just goes into a run, just wants to get through, get formed up on the other side as quickly as possible. And we're getting that ballista through as well, but because how he's got his trebuchet formed up behind that building, our ballista can't take it out. So I'm being cautious. I've got no need, in my mind, I've got no need to push anything up right now, because it's just we don't have an entrance, and all I'm doing is exposing myself more to trebuchet fire. The attack down here commences very quickly, and we do something that I'm usually not too big a fan of, which is forming up your archers and firing while you've got guys attacking. I'm a really big fan of just using up a lot of my skirmishers, wasting enemy ammunition on them, and really not committing to a proper attack until I've used up most of my ammunition. Whereas down here, we've really just gone all out, and it's I couldn't really pay much attention down here because I was quite focused up top. But this line's not really going to buckle. Not with beast tamers coming at it, and yeah, we need something more, and preferably we need a good bit of fire. So we can see some Arthedain Rangers. From down here, I move a unit of crossbows over here that I just have no idea what to do with. I move them down here to try and get some shots into their backs, and I don't know how effective those.
Has killed the leader of our allies. Avenge him. His warriors
So
weep and lose heart.
I think Blue Ranger was just slightly underestimating the real range of that trebuchet. He thought he was safe forming his boys up here, and so this is where he had his general, and that was an unfortunate loss, because when you're on the attack you need morale, and yeah, so this Treb just does so well throughout the entire fight. Just right now he's only killing my Eastron clansmen, but he's killing a lot of Serpent Guard, and it's just, we could really do without that. This is definitely somewhere that we could have maybe used a bit more communication. We sort of end up deploying on top of one another. We're all spread out though, and we're all in pretty wide formations, so we're not too worried. But my Dragon Knights there sat there the entire game and never received any trebuchet fire. I was quite surprised by that, and I really should have at least had my, I think my Dragon Knights are on this formation there. Yeah, they are. But it was still just, they're an expensive unit to lose to trebuchet fire. So you see here, I've lost well over half of that Eastron Hunter unit, and I have killed about 8 guys, 10 maybe 10. And but in my mind I thought, they've still got their ammunition, and they still keep firing for most of the game, so I wasn't too upset by that. Moved up the next one just to continue this. Now, I really don't know if this was worth it, doing all of this to use up this unit of Arthedain marksman's ammunition for basically trading out 2 units of my Eastron Hunters. Probably not worth it, but it's not something I really regret, and I say I would probably do it again. Still a lot of just movement. Has the unfortunate event happened? Yes, right, okay. This was very sad. We lost to Mumakil here, and the Mumakil actually started to run amok, and I thought that was it. I thought it was over, but they managed to come back. But the issue is they've bugged themselves now. They are they're sat there, and no matter what we can do, X-Plane can't give them any more instruction. So we didn't tell the enemy that. We wanted the enemy to still fear the idea that Mumakil are just around the corner and you've got to always be ready for it, but they were done at that point. So this is the first position I had an Eastron crossbowman in, and I very quickly realised this just isn't working out. I would have absolutely loved it if we just hadn't pushed up that quickly and we could have just rattled into them with fire, but that's okay. So these Haradrim Spear are our first line of attack that reached the Arthedain line. As I say, I would have liked to have held back, put my perhaps my next unit of Eastron crossbowmen, and just sort of tease the front line, move them here, tried to fire some shots and see what I could do with that. But Trebuchet's firing in. Ooh, against this nice unit of the Northern Shield Guard, kills quite a few of them. Kills a few Southern Archers too, but so everything, once you got into this area, you needed to spread out, because no matter where you were standing, you could get hit by that Trebuchet. But so we've got a constant stream of attack that really just keeps hammering itself into these guys. They've got their late time patrol that are just hammering in. As I say, I'm not too focused on down here, because all I had here was my crossbows. Eastron Hunters maneuvering, yes, because he's no longer got his Arthedain marksman here, and what I want to do is get them here, fire up, and just hammer the back of these guys. Now I do believe I can land some shots and I do actually get 1 or 2 kills. Yeah, so you can see the arrows coming in. These guys are nicely armoured, but a shot to the back is always going to do something. So he shovels these guys. So these guys are the ones that have been hammering me and are out of ammunition. And he rushes them down. I think he was coming for my archers actually, which I originally was happy enough to engage in glorious archer v archer melee combat, but I decided against that in the end, and pulled up my Dragon Knights to just rip them apart really. But it wasn't too much of a loss for him, as it was just an out of ammunition unit, and it could have wiped out one of my archer units, but yeah. Got some free kills for myself, so that's alright. We still haven't actually committed to that attack. I thought we did it a little bit earlier than this, but fired off some shots to them, just killed a few. Maybe I'm mistaken actually. Yeah, it must have been. It might happen again later actually. I might be confusing myself. So this ballista has not actually received much fire from the trebuchet, which would now be an absolutely terrible time considering all the trebuchets are morphed into one. But there really isn't any good targets for him, is the problem. Maybe we would have been better with another catapult, or yeah. Let's say we were just hoping that he moved his trebuchet here, so that we could have hit it with the ballista. But no, he's got it nice and behind cover. That's why he's got it there. So by this point, I'm getting my crossbowmen around over here to try and just get some shots at whatever I can. This attack is continuing. As I say, we're getting some kills. You can see a lot of fallen Cardolan units, but I just feel we're losing far more than we're really gaining, and a good bit of skirmishing on that line could have helped us. So these Arthedain marksmen now are coming in contact with these spearmen, who will beat them for their numbers really. But then I think they just carry straight on and hammer into this line. No, he reforms now. This is where I get my hunters, who were going to try and come here to fire at them, but I just position them there. I run them back actually because I realise he's coming. And the champions in Afrat, without the general there, get launched in immediately. I didn't actually realise that he'd pushed in the champions at this point. I move around some clansmen to come in, but if I had known that the champions in Afrat were in there, I thought it was just a mob of spearmen, I would have probably dedicated some higher quality units in a slightly earlier fashion, because with the champions in Afrat and some of my even mid-tier boys, I think we could have broken that line immediately. It takes us a long time to get through. These hobbit slingers, they're getting a good shot there on the side of these guys. I'm seeing hobbit slingers getting taken by Arthedain a lot recently, and let's say I'm not too familiar with Arthedain, so I think it's just because of the amount of ammunition they have or something like that, and also the price. So these, I'm really not doing too much at this point. I think I'm still just firing with my archers at any target I can really find, which at this point I think is these marksmen here. They're getting a good side shot on my clans. Yeah. So we're going up and over, and it's better than it was previously because these guys are in a tighter formation, but we're still not killing very many. And just wanting to silence them really. This attack is where the action is. My crossbowmen took a lot of fire as they were moving around. They were viewed as sort of a pretty high target. I want to see a volley from them because I think I'm actually wasting shots into that hillside. Yeah, and barely any of them are firing. Damn. I needed to maybe shuffle them around to here. Maybe I do that later, but that's definitely that's a big screw up for me. Just under half of the unit are actually firing, and I don't even think we're really hitting anything. So that's too bad. I'm really starting to move through my decent units now. The trebuchet fire has become a lot less frequent, and I'm getting things through. Now this is a bit of a bold move that I did. I had my pikes who have been massacred by those Grey Company. I had them just lined up like this. I didn't realise they were so thick, but the reason I lined them out like that was in the hopes that if he does hit them, it's well, since they're narrow targets, it's very likely he'll hit either side, and I wanted to just use up his trebuchet fire. Campbell's Dragon Knights probably should have been running, or at least spread out, because they were a very valuable unit. Everything, to be honest, probably should have been running through this pass, because it's just a very dangerous place to be. This fight is now fully begun. The champions in Afrat are starting to struggle because he's put in some dismounted Knights of Illuminus to back up his actual battle line. Grey Company there as well. I've got no answer to them, so I really should have put my East Run Hunters here to try and hurt those Grey Company. He's doing it with the South Run Archers, so yeah. We are making progress. We're starting to buckle this side of the line, and they're just getting worn down in general, which is nice. The champions in Afrat really have done some work here, so I just wish I had supported them with some decent quality units of my own. I think those archers are, yeah, no, they're still going for the Grey Company. Just want to deal with them, which I definitely understand. Here are my first actual men-at-arm units that are coming in to just try and finish them off. These guys are of course AP, which would be helpful. Now I tried to maneuver around the side there, but because of the just the way this map is designed, it's tough to form up there. So I did my best to just force myself into the left, but Eastern Clansmen, why did I pull them back for a second? I'm not sure. It was either an accident or just the AI being a bit weird. Ooh, how have I actually been doing in response to these shots? I've been doing all right. I think my very narrow lines have actually been serving me okay. Apart from that, as I say, gosh, yeah, you just totally underestimate how far a trebuchet can actually fire. Those are good units, and I just lost a good chunk of them there. That's unfortunate. Exactly 99 men in both units. Good times. That's one unit. Damn. So I pushed up the other one. Yes, I pushed up the other one here to be prepared for inspiration to my men. And this is my first unit of pikes that are arriving. Look, Frag, Rem, just waiting for an opportunity. I didn't want to push too many units into one place because they still had Rangers. They had Rangers there. They had the Grey Company. So I was trying to catch these slingers. Didn't work out. Tried to fall back and reform. Maybe I should have just slammed myself straight in because I get cut apart by Ranger fire. I definitely think that myself and Blue Ranger suffered a fair more of the Ranger attention than they had on this side. But they did have the Arthedain Rangers over here, and they had more than their fair share of archers. So it's we do finally break through this line here, which is great to see. Thus making my Eastern crossbowmen a little bit useless over there. And I think I start to move them back now. So one thing that I do definitely regret about this battle, I entirely forgot about my Rangers. I just forgot they existed. And this would have been a great opportunity to use them against that line, and there was definitely a lot of opportunities to use them on the other line. But in the heat of battle, just too many things on my mind, and I just forgot they were there. And so, no, that was just totally on me. So you can see here how we have just been getting devastated by Ranger fire. We've got some decent units here that could actually push through, but they're just suffering so many casualties. And but little by little, we are pinning them down. Now, I think, was that a shield charge from me? No, it wasn't. I get my spearmen, not them. No, I get my Scion Rem. They're coming on in, and I form them up to actually do a shield bolt charge through this formation. They are out of ammunition, luckily, so they're not going to be too much trouble for our decent quality men. They've of course been running up, so I had to reform them before they actually jumped into the fight. Eastern Hunters are out of ammunition. Just try to push myself through the right side, make a break. I was annoyed that these say 3 guys here were blocking that movement, but we do get through in the end. So what am I firing at? So this crossbow unit has been ripped apart as well. They're firing up. Are they actually being effective? I think they're probably flying over my boys. Yeah, just hitting more of my guys than they are the enemy. Maybe I should have switched fire into these guys. I know they're not really worthwhile targets, but they're poorly armoured. My archers are poor quality, so could have been good. Slingers just firing constantly, and yeah, we just keep getting chewed through. Now they come on in. Now I think I try to come along the left side again, but as I say, the map is just a bit... Okay, no, good, I'm able to force myself around a little bit. Now I feel very happy with myself able to do that. And then immediately there's some Dundee peacekeepers coming in to block the gap, and I also expose myself to the Grey Company fire. So I'm really just wanting this line to break so that we can flood through and do some damage. This map, when I defended this map, you know, we tried to have a little defense on every point, which what they're really doing here is trying to defend the initial objectives, and they're doing it really well. But let's say it's not how I would have defended this place. I do like the ability to fall back. This is such a thick blob of Cardolan, guys, and we're just not able to chew through it. Something I've said it before, but I was really impressed with the amount of communication we had as a team. When you've got 5 people in one team, it is tough to stay organised, and you usually always get 1 or 2 people that just don't talk. They're silent, they're doing their own thing. That's usually me, to be honest. But we were all really quite united, and you know, we were chatting about what we were doing and why we were doing it and so forth. It was good. So I tried to do a shield bash charge through here, just to try to break through the centre, split off this force, devour it, and then fly.
Khan, only half of our force remains.
I forgot to turn them off. They're going to get a bit annoying soon, but we were able to deal with these guys without too much difficulty now, because we've got this breakthrough. My guys aren't feeling too good, and then the Rangers come in. So at least the Rangers are out of ammunition, and more Dundee peacekeepers. So it's this line is now looking pretty haggard, and I don't actually have anything in position to replace it. I've got my pikes there coming in. Now I really should have had all of these people through this section by now. The trebuchet was either out of ammunition by this point, or it was not really firing. So, but I'm pulling things through, and I'm moving everything up for really just my final attack. Yeah, as these guys will fight pretty well because they've got some good morale, but they're not really going to be able to take them out. Again, if I just had my Rangers here already, just cutting rakes through there would be lovely. The Grey Company still have ammunition though, so that's a really big concern. Slingers coming in at us. Yeah, those. I wasn't really too sure. Like, I wasn't going to pull these guys out. They were just going to fight to the end. But I should have kept coming in, just kept funneling boys in, and because once this ends, we have to start the attack all over again. They get to entirely reform. They get to rest for a minute, and while we organise for another full attack. Whereas I'm a big fan of, once an attack begins, you keep that attack going until you break the line. So unless it's going terribly and you need to fall back, of course, don't. As soon as things actually start getting really bad, stop. So he's got his trebuchet here. Oh heck, that trebuchet was a real fucking piece of work during this battle. And we've got our catapult here, but our catapult does not have as good a firing position as their trebuchet. Still just got so many lines. Now, one thing they were chatting about a lot was they were wanting Sea of Madness to move up his halberdiers, move up his pikemen, but he was very worried. Lord Whalecombe was also quite worried about his pikes because they still had rangers. Now, this is something we probably should have explained to them, was that the enemy rangers were generally, like, most of them had used up their ammunition by this point. And the pikes could have sort of maybe been sent in now. Trebuchet is finally out of ammunition, but huge kills from it. It was insane, really. But as you start looking around, you're seeing a lot of rangers, well, a lot of marksmen just out of ammunition. These sharpshooters are still not, but we are starting to use up their ammo, so that was a good thing. I want to form up. There was no point just throwing these guys in there now. These slingers move up, and I don't actually have any ranged units here to scare them off. So I think, yes, this one pike is still holding the line. Very brave boy. And I have these crossbowmen, which I know it's a bit overkill using crossbows on hobbits, but I just kind of want to chase them away. Maybe I should have just had my my Gamp Rim pull back. So in response to these slingers, I think, right, got my knights, they're not doing anything, just charge them up. And they got all the way to here, and then Blue Ranger said, oh, watch out for pikes, watch out for stakes, by the way. And I was like, and I remembered they had these stakes here, so that was where I had this quick run back, stop, and yeah, make sure that you don't end up killing yourself off like that. So no, I was very thankful for that. I don't know if I would have noticed them, but very possibly wouldn't. So these slingers immediately move back into position as the threat to them is gone. And I think, do they get a little cheeky shot on my back? No, they don't. So I have to surrender this hill, which I'm very annoyed about. The shadow bows are in position, so what are they shooting at right now? So the time is, in many ways, the time has passed for these guys. So will they give it a go? Nope. I think I move them around. I'm wanting them to sort of get a shot from a different angle. Ashari are going in. Arthedain Rangers out of ammunition, just wanted to battle the Ashari. Sorry. I'm lining my guys up, but as you see, they are already taking fire from these Arthedain Rangers, and I think I turn my focus to try and take on the Arthedain Rangers now. Yeah, but I think they were firing up there, were they? Yeah. I never really like using rangers to kill rangers, but I felt that it was sort of just necessary with this. Yeah, that is not being used. That is definitely not being utilised well. So they had a good shot through my line. I noticed it just before they started to hit them, but they did get a good hit through. Camels Chosen just spreading out. Okay, they are taking losses, and that looks like they're finally out of ammunition, so they don't have too many shots left. I still give them one last volley, but hopefully now I realise and I change target pretty quick, which it looks like I do. Trying to come up, trying to just cut across this line, which is relatively effective, I think. These Grey Company charging down, they managed to hit my shadow bows, and I should have probably run away and just had these guys run in immediately, but instead of using these guys that were right here, I pulled up my knights. So I think it would have probably been more effective had I just moved them in. They would have actually been a bit faster. Shadowbows get out of that, but they've lost almost half the guys that they had previously. The Arthedain Peacekeepers come in, so I want to get out as quick as I can from that before my own spearmen up. Now this is great for me, I think. You know, we've got a little battle in this area, but these guys are not able to form up in time.
The warlord has fallen. Trust his warriors will avenge him.
Right, how did he die? How did he die there? Because I was wondering that. wasn't a stake there. There wasn't. Did he get shot? I'm still just unsure how my general. There was another knight that died. Was it Wardens of the North? Must have been Wardens of the North, just getting a good volley on them. Yeah. Damn. Okay. So yeah, that's why he died. So I guess the Wardens of the North are picking me apart, and I wasn't noticing it. Yeah. Oh, well, good. So this attack here, once I've actually gotten formed up, it is going in my favour. I should have. I've got my crossbows, just firing some shots onto some exposed flanks there. Not many Shari left. These guys are coming in, and I'm trying to form them up on the left to just crush them. They definitely shouldn't have been slammed into the centre there. I should have had them going to the left, but it's just a little mistake there. They're still spread out. I'm just concerned about the amount of fire the enemy has. See what's going on the other side right now. Because I should have been paying attention to what my allies were doing. But yeah, at least on our side we had a much more mobile front line, whereas here it was an absolute slog from start to finish. It does look like now that we are making some progress. So it's 67% of us killed for 60% of the enemy. That was a much bigger difference earlier on. I should have been looking at that, but oh well. So we're winning now. Yeah, as I say, I've got a lot of my decent pikes. Camels chosen have been thrown in there. I've got more people coming in as reservists. I was really concerned about that ballista. I told him to hold fire with that. Although he was getting some good kills with that volley. I just felt this is a fight I'm going to win, and I would prefer not to have some help. Got some very useful Urukai infantry from Lord Welcome that head on up here to help us out. Is that just one? No, that's the leader of the Shari there. So these strong crossbows still have some ammunition, as they will for most of the game because there's so few of them. The Sagath stalkers. Yeah, we were so grateful for Isengard to come in and just help us breach this line, because I was out of it. I was almost done at this point. Got some berserkers there. This is from Explain as well. So both Blue Ranger and I were exhausted at this point. I don't have anything more behind here, do I? No, good. Everything was moved
Only
up.
half the enemy force remains between us and victory.
Not sure which army that was referring to. But as this is where most of my focus is. My shadow bows. Who are my shadow bows firing at? Ooh, the peacekeepers? I think maybe even the slingers, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's probably not too effective a use of their ammo, but in my mind there was only 12 of them. I felt if they were not always firing, then they're being wasted. This is where I wasn't too happy with. Got rotten meat fired at us. It's helping the enemy more than it's helping us. So, but sorry, he was out of ammunition by that point, so that was all he had to throw. So we've got the Innuminous Gate Guard here, Test Mounted Knights of Innuminous, Wardens of the North. That is a tough front line, and Dalian Marksmen backed up by more Bardian Marksmen. So it's I knew that this was not going to be a fun line to assault. So we formed up, and just went at. We had some guys. We needed to put pressure here. I felt, because we needed the other line. I felt was where we were going to have the real break. But what we needed to do here was make sure that these men wouldn't be able to go and reinforce it. So we started to fight there. My Gamprim were getting outclassed by the Gate Guard and the Knights. Hearing a lot of Snagga fire. My Camel shadow bows, just firing whatever they can really get a good sight on. Could I have moved them into a better position? Perhaps, but I'm not too sure. Now, why are they doing that? I think that must have been a misclick on my behalf. we're starting to win now by the looks of things, because we've received this assistance, a lot of very high quality units. Now, we feel comfortable by this point that the enemy is out of rangers, but what they are not out of are these sharpshooters, and they're just able to fire us. Here is where I think one of my biggest screw ups in this game are. I'm going to slow it down a little, because I want to see what I did wrong here. So I tried to push through with these knights. I tried to move them to the left where they wouldn't fight any pikes, and I just tried to push through.
Badly. They have only half their men left.
So I was just like dragging them on through. A few of them are dragging themselves through the much thicker part of the line, and it's only these guys that actually managed to break. The rest of them are stuck there, just trying to push. So I'm trying to charge these sharpshooters, but since half the unit is there and half the unit is here, they're getting confused. They want to run back, and they're not achieving a proper charge. Yeah, so it's absolutely painful to watch, I'm afraid. I shouldn't have done that at all. I should have just left them. I should have just left them and waited until a more clear chance to charge was available. Because what you see Blue Ranger do... oh, sorry, no, it's X-Plane. With the Serpent Guard, I should have waited and come in when he came in. Which is it's in about a minute. By that point, because this line was going to break, I was just wanting it to break earlier. So I finally get my guys through, but it's they've taken a lot of losses. They've taken so much damage from these knights, and there's still a few of them mixed up, so they can't really achieve a proper charge. Yeah, they kill a handful, but the Grithlin sharpshooters were in guard mode. They were going to keep firing at us, and even the ones that we were in melee with are actually not too bad at melee, and they've probably received some melee upgrades anyway. So what I wanted to do here was just come back and forth, and just to try and develop a proper charge. So this should have been a real charge, but by this point there's only 3 of us, and we're almost gone. So there, see, I was wanting to do that from the start, but I think I might just leave them there. They're dead. Yeah. The only thing that I really achieved there was holding the focus of those sharpshooters for a while and allowing this to happen. So, so yes, that really I should have waited and had my full force coming through now. Just run through here, come here, bang, and that would have been great. He's getting a few people mixed in, but really not too many. That force will finally break, and I'm just going to go up to 6 speed for a while, because I'll show you what I've really got left at the end of all this fighting, but I've really not got too much. I do still try, and I think I am still an effective part of the late game, but I don't have too many tools to play with. Game's really starting to speed up now that there's far fewer units on the field. We're down to 79% of our guys killed for 81% of the enemy. So they've still got those.
Our brave warriors have killed our foe's general.
So that's over on the other side. Good. Abandoned trebuchet. They're trying to fall back everything they've got now because they've lost that line, and we're coming through with some Isengard Reavers. They've got the Hearthguard there, likely out of ammunition, but still really quite good in melee and very inspirational. So these Bardian Herd, although they're outnumbered, I feel they will give as good as they get with these guys. And the Hearthguard watching their back. I think that they knew that this was going to get flanked. The Hearthguard was just going to hold them back as long as they could, and they just wanted to deal as much damage as possible. But you look at what my friends have here, and they're still doing okay. They've still got quite a lot of units, really. So yeah, they've still got the elites, the berserkers, Nazhai. Yeah, okay, good. So at this point, this is definitely where the most of our power is. Blue Ranger and I are finished. And Uruk-hai Reavers come in here. Hearthguard are pretty great, but Reavers are not bad, and they're pretty heavily outnumbered. So, Mercenary Cavalry, not something you want to be throwing at them, but just want them to break so that they can get backstab. This was it done. So yeah, you can see it was just an utter mess. There were some clear front lines that were fought on, but generally it was people were dying all across the area there. Oh, yes, the Grey Company. So this is what I have left here now. 19 crossbows. That's all one unit. 7 crossbows down there. I've got 5 shadow bows left, 9 camels chosen, 14 of my men at arms, and I've still got 1 pikeman. He is coming. There he is. Good. So that's everything I've got. So I knew at this point I was not going to be the hero that we needed. It was just going to be. But there were still things I could do. I knew I still had my crossbowmen, who had a lot of ammunition. I had my shadow bows, had a lot of ammunition, and I still had my camels chosen that I knew man on man could go up against just about anything the enemy had. So they're moving back to their final position, and they don't seem to have any other defences in place, which I don't blame them for. They don't really have the manpower to do it now. So we're just all going to be forming up in this area now. Just dealing with the last of the Bardian herd. Good. I don't know if that was a good idea for them or not. I understand that they just couldn't pull out, but maybe I would have gotten the Hearthguard out there just to, yeah. Oh well. So it's a bit of a trek now. So I'll just stay here as we all form up. So we've still got a few archers left, but they still do as well. So looking at what the enemy actually still has in reserve.
Have killed our foe's general. Now his men will fear us.
Okay, good. Yes. So what the enemy still have is unit Bardian herd up there. Board is the Tyr Gorthat, so they've got a very strong pike line. And behind them they've got the Earls, Sharpshooters, Swordmasters, Paladins, Royal Guard, who's are out of ammunition, I think. Yeah, Black Shots. Yeah, I love Black Shots. And the Merquindi Bows. Yeah. Wow, that's a fucking nice little cover. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, I warned them about this coming in, but with most of those shots going into the side, it really wasn't too much of a worry. But those Merquindi Bows still do give a pretty good account of themselves in the range struggle in the near future. So Explain has some people here. Now he moves them up. I don't really know what he's trying to achieve with that, but we all make our way here in our own time. What's firing at them? The so I think that this is generally where I've got my men sorted out. Yeah, so I start with my crossbowmen here. There's not many of them, but crossbows are still sort of given they've got a good bit of damage that they can deal out. So while there's nobody fighting there, I was just going to start unloading on this front line, and all I'm really trying to do is make them think, oh shit, I need to fire at his crossbows, because I'd prefer them to fire at my depleted crossbow units rather than these Uruk-hai Reavers and such. So, but they don't really fall for my attempt. Oh, ouch! Yeah, so we still had a bit of firepower with that. They need to hold that line. They can't. There's nothing they can't really fall back and surrender this choke point to us. So somebody's got to take that fire. We're getting last 10,000 frames now, so we start to really launch the attack. They pushed out the Athala Rangers at us, just holding us in place really, while they could pepper us to pieces with the rest of their fire. Rotten meat there, as I say, probably going to do more harm to us than good. The ballista still has a bit of ammunition. I was keeping my melee fighters back here, just letting them get their energy back, ready for the last push. And by this point, a lot of people had deployed in front of me on my crossbows. My crossbows are still firing some decent shots. I saw one of them firing straight up there. But my shadow bows, they're here. So this annoyed me. So there was a unit of Corsairs in front of them. Good. Yes, no, they're still able to fire with a good arc. And I was aiming, right now I was just aiming at the black shots. Oh no, I was aiming at the Swordmasters. I'm not sure what armor the Swordmasters have, I'm sure it's quite good, but I still just felt I needed to take them down. And I was getting some decent shots on them. And he decides to I thought he hit them actually, but maybe he just pushes them into the fight. I really love the black shots, so I love their big enemy swords and the bows. Yeah, they're just cool. Merquindi bows. So the Merquindi bows were absolutely massacring us. Yeah. But at the end of the day, they were shooting at our ranged forces, which was kind of what we wanted. We wanted to. We knew that if we could turn this into a melee slugfest, we would win. We had the manpower to win that. So as long as they're not able to deal too much damage to our melee boys in range, then we're good. Those Belliger halberds, even though of course they don't have a shield value, they are turned around with their back to the enemy, which I think that gives them a defense loss to range fire. So here's something I do that I'm actually quite chuffed with. I set my crossbowmen up on the bottom of this ledge where they're able to get an okay shot at the enemy's flank. Oh no, they're not. Ah, damn. Okay, they aren't, or these guys. I think that they can. I do pull those front ones back later. Good. I saw one of them land there, but yeah, generally I think that was pretty effective. I turned, you know, what was a very small unit of crossbows into something that was dealing significant damage to them. So I was quite happy with that. And I don't think that would have been a better place for my rangers. I feel that my rangers were better off where they were. The Dalian Royal Guard just spreading out. They still got more rangers. Gosh dang. So Merquindi bows continuing away. So now I've sent in my melee fighters. I'm really just wanting to get stuck in at this point. I felt that this was going in our favour, and if I get my elites and relatively good quality men up at the fight, I can't beat those earls, but I could definitely match those sharpshooters and assist the rest of the meat that's really going forward. The Urukai and infantry are certainly of decent quality, but Camel Shadow Bows. What am I going for now? I think still the black shots. Oh no, I turned focus to the wardens at this point. So we are slowly creeping the number back into a more favourable side of us, but it stayed so close all the way through this. Now this is where they brought up the Mumakil, and we unfortunately had to tell them that it was bugged. So that was a shame. I would have absolutely loved to have seen that front line and us have a very depleted force and just slam even just one Mumakil down it. Would have been really fun, and then just we flood in afterward. But it was not meant to be. So I do hope that Explain brings Mumakil to another siege, and it can maybe turn out a little bit better. But I would personally never bring them myself, because I just think it's too frequent that the enemy is bringing siege weaponry and they just die so easily to siege that oh my, a lot of swordmasters killed by range there. Definitely not me. So these Merquindi bows are finally out of ammo. I think they do launch themselves into the fight soon. Yeah, so now they come on in. Again with the sword masters that have been pulled in now, so it really is, we're running out of ammunition. I'm not with my crossbows, but I've got endless ammunition for them. The Numenorians can still fire.
They have only half their men left.
Right, that must be Dale. I think Dale's probably, yeah, he's got most of the guys left, and most of what he's got left are elites. So it's so pikes. So the wardens of Tir and Gorthad are getting stuck in now. So it's pikes are maybe not gonna cut it alone, but I think just the amount that we have on the Harbingers there, it's we've got too much quality on the front line that they can't really deal with it. Now this is where I was quite happy when I got a situation like this with my crossbows. Just they were pushed up onto the flank. Now I don't know if the team were trying to do this to help me, but it was a nice little situation where we managed to get this like diagonal front line, because it meant that there was a flank exposed there, and I was really worried these Mahud warriors would push on through and cut off my angle, but luckily they didn't. So we continued to sort of fold them around to the side actually, which was nice. It was pretty impressive. And Berserkers coming up, then that's high. Yeah, so it's it was really good. It was a really good fight overall. I think that the enemy rangers just tore us apart. You'll see the kills at the end, but possibly if one of them had been a dwarven or elven faction, this would have gone very differently. If there was something to really stop that mass push on the right side carried out by my allies. So you can see this, yeah, we pushed there, and I've still got like a good shot, and yeah, so I just keep firing with my guys. The Serpent Guard now just trying to force themselves through, and I think they do manage to actually push on through. My shadow bows at this point I think are fully out of ammunition. Nope, no they're not. So they keep going. Serpent Guard there, I have to pull back. Yeah, no, I'll speed up back up again. There they go. So they get through. They get to fight the Dragon Slayers in melee. Dragon Slayers will probably, take them out in a prolonged melee. But at this point, it's kind of, he knows he's going to get flanked, but he just wanted to get stuck in. Just get this melee blob nice and disorganized, and just kill as many as you can.
Now his men can sense their doom upon them.
Which I definitely understand. So
see the enemy run before our might. We will leave nothing behind but widows and orphans.
So yeah, that was almost finished there.
The dead lie around us, and we still walk tall.
Yeah.
That makes us the victors for today.
So I was trying to run my shadow bows up and toward the center there. They got pretty close, but they didn't quite make it. So this was how it really ended up. I brought a very meaty army, which is just what I quite like to do. And enemies killed. I got quite a lot of kills. I got the most kills on the team, but what you have to keep in mind is I had nothing left, whereas like Sea of Madness had most of his army left. I know it doesn't really say there, but most of these guys from me were running, whereas he had all of his elites just standing by. The Mimikill, of course, didn't really play out too well. Oh, sorry, no, that was explained, but yeah. Blue Ranger and I, we just absorbed Ranger fire. So that was our purpose there. It seemed massive kills for the defenders. I can't remember. We did get told how many kills the Trebuchet got, but it was absolutely insane. My Dragon Knights just absolutely upsetting. What I did with them. Camel's Chosen I was a little bit upset about, but Camel's Chosen, they were fighting to the front of a pike line, or they were fighting the Knights of Innuminus, or the elites at the very end. So I'm content with how they did. The Lotfrag Rim, I could have done a lot better with them, I suppose. Like I probably should have had my Gamp Rim leading the charge. I shouldn't have put them in by themselves. You know, their men at arms were just not able to sort of deal with that, and a bit of a pike line behind them, backing them up, would have been very effective. That was just unfortunate, these clansmen, but that's kind of what they're meant to do. They're meant to just to take damage, wear the enemy down, and if they get some kills, that's great. Scion Rem, oh my lord, that was a screw up on my part, definitely. I'll have to go and check that out again and see sort of why. Like I thought the push through I would have achieved quite a few kills with one of them, but I definitely understand the one that got surrounded at the end totally by themselves. I get why they wouldn't have gotten many kills, but I thought pushing up with the group, yeah, that could have done a lot better. Eastern crossbows, just yep, two sides of it. Not too bad kills for the most part. A lot of those guys were elites and such at the end, and the hunters, you know, hey, doing what you're gonna do. They got as many kills as I sort of expected them to do. Their main goal was to absorb arrow fire and the shadow bows. So yep, could have done more with them. At the end of it, I wasn't upset with how many they killed. I just felt I could have done a bit better. So yeah, all in all, it was a lot of fun. Hopefully that fight will get uploaded by one of the battle replay channels, so that I can sort of see what somebody else thinks about it. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys.